everybody, Racer here. Got the driver with me. It's been a long time since we did one of these 40-ounce videos, but I'm inspired by a recent promotion that's been out to find Billy D's Colt 45. Well, I haven't really drank a 40 in 10 minutes in a while, so I better get started here. Oh, nice crack, nice hiss. You would expect nothing more. A little code you were supposed to enter at a website. The entry is gone right now. It's probably the same one as somebody else has. I probably didn't win. So, cheers. Ooh, wow. Ooh, wow, a little foamy there. This thing is ice cold right now. Been working out in the yard, working on some woodwork projects. Excuse me. Working up a pretty good thirst, and you know, the power of Colt 45. Right? What's the man say? Works every time, right?
Every time.
Power of Colt. But you know, Colt 45 has been around a long time. Colt 45 was introduced, I believe, in 1963 by the old National Brewing Company in Baltimore, and it was named after some football player who was number 45 who played for Baltimore at the time. That's when they were the Baltimore Colts, I believe, before they became the Indianapolis Colts, and then I don't know who the hell the Ravens were before they moved there, but well, this is ice cold and smooth. So what do you got there?
I have Talon Bluegrass Blush.
Talon Bluegrass Blush. Here's a old Colt 45 can. I had this one probably in the 70s, and just by the style here, the drawn steel can, and it says on it Carling National Brewery. So it's that was probably between 1969 and 79, because in '69 Carling merged, was bought, I'm not sure, with National. Carling from Canada and National, and they became Carling National Breweries. And the early Colt 45 ads, they used a Canadian comedian named Billy Van, deadpan guy. I don't know if you've seen it. If you're watching YouTube, since you're probably watching this on YouTube, you should look up the older ads, the ones where they're whistling the thing and the planes flying by the guy, and he's just sitting there deadpan, and they're a great series of ads.
They used to have good ads.
I know that when Colt 45, you know, they were obviously marketing it not to the African American community then. When they started out, they had Red Fox. They got. And you know, Red Fox was the perfect guy to to kind of test the waters. Red Fox was a black guy that white people liked. So. So you use Red Fox. He did a great ad, the ski jump ad. Remember that one? I showed it to you.
Yes, where he's got the beer and he's coming down the side of the mountain.
Yeah, he takes the shortcut. Takes the shortcut and ends up on a ski ramp. Well, what happened was in 1979, Carling National went out of business, and they were bought by G. Heilman. Here's another Colt 45 Silver. I can tell you, this says from Carling National. This was a late 70s brew, and this stuff, my recollection of it was that it was toxic, which is probably why Carling National went out of business. I mean, it was horrible. I remember in Durant Eastman Park splitting a six-pack of that with a friend of mine in high school, and oh my God, that stuff was horrible. You'd think a bunch of kids would drink anything, but not that. It was horrible. Got to check the time here from time to time.
Colt 45 was nasty back in the day. It's gotten a lot better. I'm
not sure it was nasty when it started out. Of course, in the 60s when it started out, you weren't even born. I would have had to have had it out of a bottle
I
with a nipple on there.
70s.
Yeah.
And it was gross.
Yeah. Somewhere along the way, I mean, I've tried researching this. Somewhere along the way, the brand got involved with Stroh's, but not before, in the mid-'80s, they brought out the man.
The man.
So this is a salute and a cheers to Billy D. Williams. If you're watching, Billy D., there was a time there in the 80s where you were the coolest man on earth. I mean, there's no question about it. Billy D. Williams was the coolest man on earth. You look at people today, and it's like, Brad who? Something like that compared to Billy D. I mean,
everybody knows who he is.
Let's face it. Remember his rules?
You don't have to have Colt 45 to have a good time.
Why take the chance?
But why
rule
take
number
the chance?
one was never, or let's see, rule number one was always have plenty of Colt 45 on hand. Rule number two, never violate rule number one. And of course, about that time, some exceptionally attractive young lady came over to steal his Colt 45 from him, and she certainly could have had mine. Sorry, nothing personal. But
okay.
Anyhow, yeah, I'd like to have one of those cans in the Billy Van ads, the flat top Colt 45. 16 ounce, the tall boy one. I'd like to have one. If I saw one, I'd buy it. But yeah, as the driver here said, Colt 45 has gotten considerably smoother over the years. Now it's of course owned by Pabst and brewed under contract, more than likely by Miller at their Eden, North Carolina plant, where they do most of their contract brewing. You know, they talk about on some of these going back to original formulas. Maybe they went back to the original formula for Colt 45 and it actually, tasted good in the 60s. I remember one of their slogans, remember one? If unique is what you seek. That was a great slogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what. I kind of hope I win the contest. I still have a full one of these I saved. I'd like to go out there and meet Billy D. Wouldn't you?
That would be fun.
Well, you'd probably be the one I took with me. You know,
I hope so.
I doubt I'd take Daniel or one of his friends, who wants to meet, I forget what his character's name was. His character's name in Star Wars? I forget.
Star Wars.
It was, I forget what it is. I'm sorry, I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan.
No, I don't remember who he is.
Not important. I'm sure somebody will make a comment on the YouTube thing to let me know.
To let you know who it was.
Yeah, to let me know. All right.
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. This does go down exceptionally smooth. But I wonder if they're going to do anything. Colt 45 will be 50 years old in in 3 years. That could be a pretty good anniversary. Like that. I mean, you see on their Works Everytime website that Colt 45 has been embraced by a new generation of people whose parents might not even have been alive when the stuff was originally introduced. So
yeah, a lot of parents now are younger than.
I don't know, but younger than what?
I don't know, younger than parents used to be. How's that?
All right, well.
Parents are starting out younger and younger.
Yeah, which I think is a mistake when we do something like that. I'm just checking the time here right now. A little over 8 minutes into here. I got about 2 minutes left, and we're down to less than an inch. Like I said, this goes down real smooth. I guess I still have to do, even though it's Colt 45, I still have to do a racer's recommendation. Colt 45 is certainly a classic name in the malt liquor business. I think the only name that might be more classic than Colt 45 is Old English 800.
Yeah.
But I would tell you in this day that Colt 45 is a good, solid, reliable malt. Ooh, excuse me. Goes down smooth. It certainly has my recommendation. If you can find yourself one of these, I think this is one of these things that I don't care how many of them they made, I don't care how many of them people saved. This is one of these things that, yeah, it might never be worth a lot of money, but it's just going to be
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things that kind of like an Elvis stamp. Yeah, I mean, you want one. So did everybody else, but
Yeah, it's not going to be really worth anything, but everybody wants it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I started this thing out ice cold, and there's one thing: when you drink a 40 of this in 9.5 minutes, that
it stays cold.
Yep. So, like I said, Billy D, we love you. Colt, you're a great beer, malt, and I hope to do a few more of these. I know I get requests all the time, so I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see y'all next time. Cheers.
Bye.